Hi everybody, I am Liz. I am John's wife, and we are of course here at the Rum Bar today. And today I'm going to be walking you through the steps of making my guacamole. We lived in San Antonio a few years ago, and I learned how to make guacamole there, and I've been sort of perfecting the method ever since. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But we're also going to be enjoying a little rum and coke, classic, since it's so hot here in Florida today. I think the heat index is about 100 degrees, so we definitely had some pool time earlier today. We'll probably have pool time again later today. And John's dad is in town, which is great, and they have been smoking all week, and so we're actually going to try something a little bit different, which I'll get to in just a minute. But first, what I wanted to talk about is what you need to make this guacamole. Of course, the star of the show is the avocados, so you're definitely going to need some avocados. I also like to add bell peppers into my guacamole. I'm going to make it with 3 different colors today just to make it extra special, but if you happen to only have one type of bell pepper or only one green pepper, then that's fine too. You're definitely going to need a lime, a jalapeno, and then we also have some red onion and cilantro ready to go. I am going to start by carving up the avocados, and then John is going to do something extra special with them, which is to put them on the smoker. So I have never done that before, so hopefully it'll turn out great. These particular avocados are from Costco, and they are great in size. It's always tricky when buying avocados from the store because it's hard to know which ones are good or which ones are bad. I've had so many avocados go bad on me. It's always depressing because they're not always cheap. But the best thing to do is to give them a good squeeze to see if they're ready or not. When you're in the store, they're probably going to be green, they're probably going to be hard, and that's fine. If you pick one up in the store and it's a little bit squishy, you better eat it that night, or maybe just go to one that's a little bit less ripe. The other trick on determining if an avocado is ready or not is to take off the little button on the top, and if it is kind of a darker green or if it's dark and brown, then it's ready. If it's super green when you pull that off, just let it sit for probably another day. The other trick that I can share with you about avocados is that if you think the avocados are ready but you're not ready to eat them, put them in your refrigerator. They will last a few more days, not forever, but they do last a little bit longer because there's a lot of jokes about avocados going bad out there that I've seen around. So the best way to cut into the avocado is with a nice sharp knife, and you just go right around the middle. Thankfully, I think these are looking pretty good. Always a mystery when you cut into an avocado if it's going to be good or not. So I just cut around the center, and now I'm just going to give it a good twist. And it's looking pretty good. And then from there, we're not going to do this step right now, but when you're done with separating it, you're just going to take out the seed, and you're going to put all of the yummy green stuff into your bowl that you're going to mix. Okay? So the amount of avocados you use is all dependent on the amount of guacamole you want to make. If you have smaller guacamoles, you're going to need more. If you have large avocados, you're going to need less. I'm just going to go ahead and cut up all of these today since we're going to make a lot of guacamole. Again, you just give it a good twist. All of these are looking really good. I'm super happy about these avocados right now. If you do find one that is maybe not quite ripe, and it's a little bit hard and it's not going to mush really well for your guacamole, one option is to put it in a food processor, and that'll kind of blend it up a little bit more. Like this one right here, I can tell is a little bit tougher still, so if I needed to get the right consistency for dipping and all that, yeah, I don't know, this one is pretty, I think that one is just going to have to sit a little bit longer. Anyway, if they are too hard and they're not quite ready, you can definitely just put them in a food processor, but hopefully they're perfect and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next step, which is going to go ahead and chop the other ingredients. Again, today I'm going to use 3 different bell peppers. Doesn't that look great? All right, and the way that you want to chop these bell peppers is you do want to get them kind of finely chopped, because otherwise if it's too chunky when you go to put it on your chip, it just doesn't really, it just falls all over the place. So the more you can finely chop it, the better. I do have a food chopper sometimes I use when I make a lot of guacamole. I like to cut them in strips like this, and then it makes it really easy to chop into sort of more even pieces. And there's no right or wrong way to chop these, really. Just go at it. And again, depending on the amount of avocados is going to depend on the amount of bell peppers that you're going to use. I think that actually looks like the perfect amount for the orange. Chop these yellow ones really quick. You can also use the rest of the bell pepper that you don't eat or don't put in the guacamole as dipping sticks instead of doing corn chips or tortillas. It's a great low carb option. I also like to sometimes use cucumber as well to put in the to dip in the guacamole. I also love to mix salsa into the guacamole. And I will say in some cases in the past I've put in like a half of tomato into the guacamole. I know some people also add in sour cream. I know a lot of restaurants do that because it's cheaper to make. Not a huge fan of that myself, but I know that it can still taste great with that option. Red bell pepper is actually my favorite bell pepper flavor of all of them. Cut out that little part. Got my Cutco knives, which are awesome for chopping. Try to get them somewhat consistent and fine. Take your time and be careful. And then we're going to chop the jalapeno. I don't find jalapeno peppers to be spicy. You're welcome to put the entire thing in, again, depending on how much you're going to make. If I'm making a smaller quantity, sometimes I only use half a jalapeno. It just depends on your personal preference. Obviously, if you like spicier food, you might want to use a more spicy pepper. I know, again, when we used to live in San Antonio, I loved the hatch peppers. I miss those. We don't really get that much here in Florida anymore. And I know that those hatch peppers go good in guacamole as well. So there's our jalapeno. The other tip I'll share with you while I'm doing this chopping is, if you can, when you're done making your guacamole, just leave it in the refrigerator for a little while before you actually eat it, and all those flavors blend really nice. I'm going to go ahead and do the lime now. I do have a fancy lime juicer that I just decided not to use for the video, but I always put a whole lime in. Again, if you're making a lot of guacamole, you might want to consider putting in even more lime. I think the lime really helps break down the peppers. And I'm just going to go and put some in my drink as well, because I like a little lime in my drink. And then I pre-cut the red onion. I will be careful with the red onion, because that is one of the ingredients that you can, if you overdo it, it's just going to overpower the taste of the guacamole. The cilantro is actually the same thing. You can absolutely overdo it with cilantro. Some people don't like cilantro, so if you don't like cilantro, just leave this out, or if you just don't have any on hand. I have also used the partially dried cilantro, which lasts in your refrigerator longer. and it doesn't really seem to taste that much different. Obviously, fresh is always preferred. And I'm just releasing some of those flavors by kind of chopping that up a little bit. And then, not last, but salt. Always super important. Go easy on the salt in the beginning. You can always add more later. And for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix this all up. Again, obviously, we're missing the main ingredient, which is the avocados, which John, I believe, has already put on the smoker. So we will smoke those for about 30 minutes, and then we will be back to mix that in, and I will show you the final product. So, cheers. All right here we have avocados on the smoker. This is new for us, but we're trying it out. See how they look in a little bit. All right, so we have successfully smoked our avocados, and I'm pretty excited to see what that's going to taste like. We'll definitely give you a review of what it tastes like at the end. This is not a normal step that I do. It is not required to smoke avocados. Simply can just cut them and add them into the guacamole. But we're going to see what this tastes like. So I'm going to go ahead and use my spoon to get the seeds out of the few here that we have. I did let these sit and cool for a while just so that they were a little bit easier to handle. I will say as well that it did change. From what I noticed, it changed the color of the avocado a little bit. Just made it look a little bit brown. So they're just not quite their normal vibrant green, but I think that it's going to taste excellent. So I'm excited. That one is a little tough. Might have to work on chopping that one up a little bit. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using a good sized spoon and getting the seeds out of here. You can do the method where you pre-chop the avocado, which is simply where you got to take your time and be careful. You can pre-chop it like so, and then scoop it out with your spoon. That kind of helps the process down the road. So again, no wrong way to do it. It's going to taste the same whether you pre-chop it or chop it in the bowl. So I'm just scooping out all this goodness here. Also, you can kind of start eyeballing if you're going to need more ingredients. Like, I'm kind of questioning if I chopped up enough of the bell peppers and the onion, just because these are fantastically large avocados. I'm super happy with these right now. It was nice to enjoy my drink while the avocados were smoking. Had to make myself another one. One more to go. Just scooping out all this goodness. And then the last step is simply just to mix all of this up together. Again, like I said, if you can let this sit in the refrigerator and let all those flavors just marinate together. I'm just going to take this one out because I can just tell that one's not going to cooperate with us. And I'm just going to use my nice sharp Cutco knife, slice through all these. I can tell already I'm probably going to add a little bit more salt. But this is definitely a crowd pleaser. We have this on the boat almost every time we go out. Again, most popular is to dip it with some chips, but you can do it with other vegetables. Put it on crackers. We like to add this on top of our burgers. That's actually, the proportions now that I'm mixing this all are looking really good. Nice and green, nice and colorful. Alright, I'm pretty happy with the way this is looking right now, guys. So this is Liz's guacamole. It's nice and chunky. The smoking process really softened them up nice, so it's just really easy to mix. The lime juice just adds that extra kick. And there we go. I'm going to put this in a fancy bowl later, take a nice picture for you guys, and we'll do a review on how everything tastes when we're all done. But otherwise, enjoy your rum, and we'll see you next time. Ooh, found some chips right here. Give it a taste. I think it tastes perfect. I think everybody's gonna like it. Again, we'll see you next time.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching this how-to guacamole video. Again, those ingredients are avocados, red onion, jalapeno, lime, salt, cilantro, and whatever bell peppers you have around. Please comment below with how you make your guacamole taste great. We would love to hear that. Don't forget to like and subscribe the RumJohn YouTube channel and check out our Facebook page. Just search RumJohn, no space, for the group.